take us through new dynamic Excel array functions. So Mr. Zalu is a Microsoft Certified Analyst Associate and is specialized in business intelligence tools to relieve data. He's also from Morocco and is co-founder of the NDS EXPERTS, which is a company based in Morocco that specializes in training and certification for Microsoft tools like Power BI, Excel, Access, and Word document. So right, I'll introduce the pastor to Mr. Salu. So Mr. Salu, you can introduce yourself.
Okay, great. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay. Hello. Thank you for having me today to present you some topic about Excel new arrow function. And actually, they are not new because they are available from the Microsoft Office 365 back to the end of 2018. But I just noticed a lot of people not using them, but they are so amazing and you can save a lot of time using those functions and working on Excel. So I list some function we're gonna walk through today. Actually, we got 6 functions, but this is not an exhaustive list, but you can do some research after to find more Excel array function. So the function we are going to be talking today is the filter function. Actually, that's my favorite function so far. We are unique function, short function, sequence function, sort by function, and run array function. And I put some description for each function here. Maybe after I'm going to send you the file so you can see how every function worked. And we have some description for every function here. So the first function we are going to see is the sort function. Like the name describe, the first function allow you to sort your data. Maybe you got a data set, and before those functions to sort a function, we have to go inside the data set to sort the data. But since we got this function, we don't need to go inside the data set to sort the data. We can sort the data outside the data set, and that's so amazing. So I'm going to show you some couple of examples here, the way we can use those functions. So let me go here. So I got a little data set here, and we are going to do some sorting here. Let me clean this. So, for example, we want to sort our data set in this way, sort the salary in descending order for the whole data set. So we are going to take this data set and sort it by the salary column. Okay, so I'm going to put my function here, sort, and the first argument is the arrow. So the arrow is your data set where you want to sort the data. So I'm going to select my data here, comma, and next column is you have to tell Excel what column do you want to use to sort your data. But here we are going to use the salary column. So I'm going to put, you see the salary column is in the third column. So I'm going to put 3 here. And this is the sorting order. Do you want to sort your data by ascending, or do you want to sort your data by descending? So here I'm going to use the descending, because I'm going to sort them from the highest to lowest. So I use the -1, close my parentheses, and hit enter. And you see the amazing thing that happened here. I just have to put just the formula in just one cells, and the formula spill in other cell. You can see here that my first high salary, the second, the third, and so on. And also, by the way, I'm going to show you the sort by function also. We can use sort by function. It functioning like a sort function, but you can use it. For example, if you want to sort just the crystal doll column, the name column actually, and you want to sort this column by the salary column, but you just want this list. You don't want the whole data set. And this way you have to use the sort by column, because you can use sort function to just sort this column by using the salary column. So I'll come here, I'm going to use the sort by function. The first argument is the arrow. The arrow is actually your data set. So I select my data set here. And the second argument is Excel just asking us what column do we want to use to sort our data. So I'm going to use the salary column. And the third argument is the way you want to sort your data, from smallest to largest or from largest to smallest. I'm going to use descending, -1, close my parentheses, and hit enter. Okay. Let me go back, because I guess don't want the whole data set. I just want to select the first one. Yes. And like you can see, I can sort just this column by using this column, the number that living in the salary column. And you can see we have the same thing here, but here we cannot use the sort function, because sort function, if we cannot use another column to sort, we have to have all the column in the function. That is the sort function, and I think it is useful. You can use it to sort your data out of your data set, and it is amazing. So I'm going to move to the second function, that actually the unique function. The unique function is a row function. Also, it is dynamic, and you can use it to retrieve a unique list from your data set. For example, here I have some Excel data set, and maybe I want to know. You can see here we have a lot of regions here: Asia, Australia, North America, Europe, and I just want to retrieve the unique list from this column. And we can use unique function to do that. I put the unique function here. The arrow is the column. Actually, I don't want to retrieve the whole data set. I just want to retrieve the unique list from the region column. So I'm going to just select this column. Okay. The second argument actually is not, it is optional. We can just leave it here, and by default, it is the false argument that Excel gonna treat. So you're gonna return the unique row. or unique column. But here we just select one column, so we don't have to specify this argument. So I can just close my parentheses, and I got a unique list from the region column. Let's say it's Asia, Australia, Europe, North America, and South America. And we are going to do the same here, but you just have to make the difference between distinct and unique. Distinct actually mean that the item appear just ounce in your dataset, and unique will take in account even the duplicate item. For example, if you just want the distinct item from your dataset, you have to specify the last argument from the unique function. For example, here I type my unique function here. The array argument I select, for example, the app column, select, and the second function, I can leave it here or specify just false. And the third argument is how we wanna sort how we wanna retrieve the item. For example, if you choose the true option, it will gonna return the return item that appear exactly ounce, and you use false. The false is the default argument. Then you're gonna return every distinct item. So I'm gonna use the true one and just want you to make the difference between the two. For example, here it retrieve item that just appear ounce in our dataset. And here I'm going to use the same formula, but just changing the last argument. Unique. I highlight the column, use the false, and here I'm gonna use the default argument. And you can see the difference between here. In the first use case, we retrieve just the distinct item, but in the second, we retrieve the unique. So that means if the item appear ounce, they going to take this here. But here, if we in the first one, it just retrieve the item that appears just ounce in the dataset. That gets the difference between the two. And we can retrieve more than one column. And for example, here, if I come here and use the function again, the unique function, and for example, I wanna retrieve just the two column, the name and the region. The other arguments are optional, so I'm going to leave them. That's going to retrieve the distinct list from the name, from the division and the region. I think it is useful. The first in this file, I'm just wanting to walk you through from the how those functions work, and after I am going to show you some real example how we can use those functions to analyze our data. So we are here. This is the filter function. That's my favorite one that can allow you to filter out your function, your data set. Actually, for example, here I got an example here. You wanna filter a function based on this criteria. You just wanna retrieve your data that respect this criteria. For example, if you wanna retrieve the data, the name or the column that have sell more than 50,000. that you can use the filter function. Before those functions, if you want to do that, we have to do it inside of our data set. But since this function exists in Excel, we don't have to do it again. So we just have to use the filter function. Filter function, the first argument is your data set. In what data set you want to filter out the data. And this is my data set. Select this. And okay. Comma, include that where you include the criteria. So you want to retrieve the data that the row that contains cell more than 50,000. So I'm going to select this column and put equal and not equal, not more than, so superior than 50,000. And the last argument is optional, so you can leave it. So the filter function just retrieve the data, the row that have cell more than 50,000, and that is so amazing. And you can nest filter function with the sort function. Actually, if I come in the beginning, I can add the sort function here. For example, I put sort. That's gonna be the array. The comma is the index column. Index column is the column you want to use for sorting your data. Actually, I'm going to use the salary column. So I'm going to put 2 here. 2. And the order of sorting, I'm going to use descending. And this is going to filter your function and also sort the data you're filtering by the salary column. You see there that the highest salary, the second highest salary, and the third one, the fourth, the fifth, and also. And I think it is so amazing to use those functions. And the last one is the sequence function. The sequence function allow you to generate a sequence value like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And before those functions, if we want to generate a sequence value, we had to use this. For example, I'm going to show you. If you go to home tab, and using the field series here. For example, I'm going to put, for example, 2 here, 2, and I'm going to use the field series. For example, the step value, I'm going to put 3, and the stop value, I'm going to put what? Maybe 50. That allow me to generate some value. And we can use sequence function to do that right now. For example, I'm going to put my sequence function here. Sequence. The row, you gotta put the number of row you want to generate your function. For example, if I put 12, and you see the order argument are in brackets, so it is optional. You can leave them. So this allow me to generate some value, and you can specify the order function also. For example, the column, we're not using column here, so I can skip it. The start, for example, I want to start 2 by 2, and the step, you can specify the step also. Putting, for example, 3, close the parentheses. It start by 2, and between the number there are 3. We are 2, 5, 8, 11, 14, 17, and 20. And for example, I'm going to show you the use case of this function here. For example, I'm going to retrieve, for example, the unique list from the app column. Unique app column. Okay. And you may want to put the index in front of each app, for example. And you can use the sequence function for this. For example, you want to put, for example, 1 here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you want this to be dynamic. For example, if I change, for example, the column, for example, instead of the app column, I use the origin column. I want the index to be dynamic. So you can use the sequence function here. For example, I'm going to put sequence, and sequence is require the row. So the row, I'm going to use the counter function to calculate the number of row. For example, here we got 5 row, and if I change, for example, the column and reference, for example, I change it to app column, you see the row gonna change. Actually, we got 11 row here. For example, I'm going to put the counter function that can allow me to count the number of rows. So we got 11 here. If I change the column reference, I take, for example, the region. That is dynamic. So I'm going to use the sequence function here. And okay, I'm gonna nest it with the counter function. And okay. Okay, that's gonna give me the number of rows, and the other argument are optional, so I'm going to leave them so you can see. And here, if I come back here and change the column reference, actually, if I use the app column, you see it is dynamic. I can change again, take, for example, the division column. It is dynamic.
Yeah. Sorry. Mr. Salu.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Will it be yes? So someone was asking if they could get access to the file. Since they want to practice as you are going with it.
Okay. Do you want me to send you the file right now?
Yeah, you could send it to my email and I could post it.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
okay.
No problem.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Okay. Guess what?
Sorry.
Okay. Let me find the file. Okay. Let's start Nigeria. Okay. Yeah, I send you the file.
Okay. Yes, I've seen it. All right, so you can continue. I will post it for the
Okay.
participants. Thank you so much.
The last function I'm just going to show you is the random function, random row function. Actually, round row. Yeah, round row function. The round row function allow you to generate a random number. It allow you to return a row of random number. You can specify the number of row and column to fill, minimum and maximum value, and whether to return the whole number of decimal value. For example, I'm going to show you here, for example, round a row. For example, I want, for example, two row, or I'm going to use four row. Number of column, for example, 3. The minimum number can use, for example, 5, and the maximum numbers can use, for example, I don't know, 50. And the last argument, you can decide whether you want to use decimal number of integer. For example, I don't mind. I'm going to use integer, and you can see here that allow me to just generate a random number, and I can use F9 to update the number. That can be used if you want to just have data to make some analysis. And I can make a big random number. For example, if I want, for example, 10 row, 5 column, the minimum, I'm going to put 1990. Maximum, I want integers, so I'm going to put true, close my parentheses, and you can see here. And you can press F9 to update your number, and you can see everything get updated. And if you want to make the number static, you just have to copy the number you generate here and copy and pass it like value, like, and you can have this data to make some analysis. So right now I'm going to show you some real case where you can use those functions. And I'm back in this file. I think I'm sending it to you. So for example, here I'm going to do some real-time filtering. For example, when I'm going to start, for example, I'm going to filter my region column. When I'm going to start to putting, for example, you here, I want my data to getting filtering. And we can use the filter function for this. And we gotta use some tool from the developer tab. If you don't have the developer tab, you can activate it from the option. Actually, if you go to option here, option, okay, customers ribbon, and you can check the developer tab here. So since I got the developer tab, I'm going to, for example, first I'm going to put the text box here. If you go to developer tab, go to control group, and from the insert bottom, you can find the text box here. And the text box can allow us to type some text. And I'm going to link this text box to a cell in my workbook. For example, I'm going to link this text box to the cells Z1. So I'm going to double click on my text box, for example, double click, and from the property plan, I'm going to, if I go here, I have the link cell here, and I'm going to tap the cell reference here, Z1, and I can close the Visual Basic editor. And for example, actually we are on design mode. If I deselect it, I can start typing something here. And if I type something from my text box, the word I'm typing on the text box getting in my cells Z1. And this is what I want thing to do. So I tap UK, I got UK here. So I'm going to back to design mode. And I'm going to put right now my filter function to filter my data set here. For example, I'm going to put my filter function here. Okay. Filter. The row is my data set. Include. We're going to use this here. I got a two-way to do the filtering. And I'm going to show you the two-way. The first one, I'm going to use this is number. For example, I'm going to use this number. Actually, I'm going to show you this before I do the filtering function. For example, here, if I do some source here, the source function, source Z1, no, actually Z1 text to find Z1 within, okay, the region column. And the last argument is optional, so I can leave it here. For example, actually, I don't have something in Z1. For example, if I type U here, I got some error here. Error. But actually, what the search function do is searching the position of the U from each row from the region column. For example, okay. I guess I'm gonna do this. Yes. For example, here we have U. So the U is in the first position, so it put 1 here. But here we don't have U. So the formula got error. We have U here, we have U here. So I'm going to put another function, for example, the isNumber function. isNumber is a formula that return true or false. For example, if it is a number, you're going to return true. If it's not a number, you're going to return false. That is true because we have U here. That is true because we have U here. So we are going to use those functions inside the filter function. So filter, the row is this. My data set include, I'm going to use the function I'm showing you is number source. What we're sourcing is something we put in the cell Z1 within this column, and can close the isNumber function and close the filter function. So if I type, for example, B here, I put, you see everything getting filtered and just retrieving me the row that contain the word B. For example, in Brazil, we got the word B. In the Burkina Faso, we got the letter B. So if I type, for example, you here, you're gonna retrieve me all the row that contain this letter. But I don't want to type the letter here. I'm going to type it here. So disactive the design mode. I type, for example, I think I gotta change the cell reference. I go back here, cell reference. Okay, where is the cell reference? Cell. Okay, let me find the cell reference here. The cell link. Okay. Okay.
Oh, you paused it.
You paused it. It's H1.
No, like you paused down.
Down.
It
Okay.
shows. Yeah, that's down again. Yes,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Link
Yes.
server.
Let's put it here. Z1 close. I disactivate this and I start typing. You can see that put here. If I type, for example, A S, so it is real-time filtering, and you can put it here just to hide the cell Z1 and go back here and you can filter your data. And the second option here is when I type here, for example, I type, for example, U. I want the U to find a word that starts with the U, not the word that contains the U. And this way, I'm going to use the second formula instead of the first one. For example, I'm going to come back here, and instead of using this formula isNumber and source, I'm going to use left and len. Left. The text is from the region column. The number of characters, I'm going to use len. Len of G1. Close the parentheses. Equal to 1. And the problem. Okay.
The G1, that G is missing. Equal to G1.
Equal to G1. I'm going to equal to G1, yes. And you can, for example, at the end of the, you can use the last argument of the filter function if the word you're typing here not live in your data set, for example. And this way you can, for example, tell Excel not found, for example. That just in case you type something that is not part of your data set. For example, if I type something that is not part of my data set, that's going to tell me not found. Yes. Okay.
One question.
Okay.
Yeah, we used to work like within, like in a different sheet. If the data is in a different sheet, we used to work.
I didn't understand the question.
Okay, like if the data is in a different sheet, would the filter formula still work?
Different sheet?
Yes, this thing is in a different sheet. Like the data, like the data is in the same sheet here. Let's say the data was in a different sheet. Maybe I aligned strands sheet. Would it stay work also?
Yes. So you are asking if we got the data set from a different sheet?
Different sheet here with the filter formula.
Yeah. We just can link the formula with the other sheet. It is possible.
Right.
Here I'm going to use another use case of the function we just see, the unique function, the sort function, and the filter function. For example, here I got a data set that actually the cell data set, and I'm going to analyze my data set. For example, here I'm going to retrieve the unique list of my product here, and I'm going to create, for example, a drop-down list that can allow me to choose a product and see the total sale of this product. And we can use the unique function here. First one, unique function row, and from the product column, that allow me to retrieve the unique function of my product, and I can sort the list by using the sort function. And I'm going to use this list to create a drop-down list. So I'm going to data type, to data validation, I choose list, and from the source I'm going to use this. And the thing I forgot to tell you is, if you're referencing a function, a cell that contained a row function, you got to put the hashtag sign. Let me show you first before we do this. For example, if I wanna retrieve this data set, for example, if I do this, for example, it's gonna get me just the first cell. But if I want the whole cell, whole column, for example, I have to reference with the hashtag sign. For example, if I put the hashtag here, it take the spill column here. So if you referencing a cell that contains a row function, you got to put the hashtag sign. This is what I'm going to do when I'm going to do the drop-down list from here. For if I go there and list and source, I'm going to use this, put the hashtag sign, and okay. And here I got the list of my product here, and I'm going to use the SumIs function to calculate the total sale of each product. Sum range is the cell column. Criteria range is the product column. and the criteria is guess the drop-down list. I close the parentheses, and I got the total sale for this product, and I can choose a product here and see the number of the total sale. For example, the aspirin got 398. This product, it is dynamic, and I can do something also. If, for example, I select a product here, I want Excel to highlight the row that contain the transaction of this product. For example, here, so I'm going to select, for example, my data set here. Go to Home tab, Conditional formatting, New rule, use a formula, and I'm going to link, for example, the product column with what we choose in the drop-down list. And I'm going to remove the absolute reference in front of the row, because I want every row to get updated. For example, I just put the reference in front of the column because I always want to reference the product column that live in the C column, equal to what we going to choose here. And the format, the field, for example, I can use, for example, the green color, and hit OK. So every time I select, for example, a product here, Excel highlight the row that contain the transaction of this product. And the amazing part is when you got a new data. So if you got new data, you don't have to go back to your function to update the range. You just copy the data inside of your data set. And actually, this is a Excel table. So you got to transform first your data set in Excel table, so you get the update automatically. For example, I copy the new data I got here. I'm going to pass them under my, and you see here, the list get updated. The drop-down list also get updated. That the sunset, and if you go down, you see the row that contain the transaction of this product. Yes. Another example here, if you want to create a dependent drop-down list. For example, you got a list of country and you want to choose a country and see the city that we can find in this country. For example, if I choose Morocco, I want in the second drop-down list the city we can find in Morocco. If I choose another country, for example, Ivory Coast, I want to see the city we can find in Ivory Coast. And we can use the Excel row function here also. So we're going to use the unique function that's going to allow me to retrieve the unique list from my country column. And I'm going to do some filtering. And first, I'm going to create the drop-down list using this. Okay, the list I just create here. I'm going to data tab, data validation list, source. I'm referencing a row function, so I'm going to put the hashtag sign. Okay. Oh, made a mistake. I should do it here. So I go back here, list, source, hashtag. So I got the drop-down list here. And if I choose, for example, Burkina Faso, and I want in, actually, this is Siri. Siri, for example, I'm going to create a drop-down list here based on the city, based on the country I'm going to choose here. Country. Okay, but first let's use the filter function here. Filter row. I want my city column include the country column equal to what I'm going to choose in the drop-down list. And I can close my parentheses. And if I use, for example, Nigeria, I got 2 city. If I choose, for example, Ivory Coast, I got the city from Ivory Coast, and I can put it in the drop-down list also. So I choose list, source. I'm going to take this, use the hashtag sign. You can see I choose Burkina Faso. I got a list of city of Burkina Faso. I choose, for example, Nigeria. I got a list of city of Nigeria. And if you want to put, for example, the population also, you can do this. If you, okay. And you can do some filtering or use some X lookup function. But you can use filter function also. For example, filter, what you want to filter is population, include city equal to what I'm going to choose here. Like, for example, Lagos. I choose another country here, for example, Ivory Coast. I got the city of Ivory Coast. I use my, and I got the population of Yamoussoukro. Okay. Maybe the last thing I'm going to show you is you can create, for example, a pivot table using the Excel row function. Actually, for example, I got a small data set here I'm going to analyze. And for example, I am going to do, for example, I want a list of product here and a list of representative here. And I want to Excel to calculate the number of, for example, if I got a representative here and the product here, I want the number of sales the person made in this product. For example, I can use the unique function here. Unique. I take this column, close the parentheses. I can use the sort function to sort the list if I want to. And here, that I can use a filter function here, but here I'm going to use it with the transpose. Let me show you first here. For example, if I put the unique function here and I want my product, so I select the product column and close the parentheses. I can sort them. If I go back here, I'm going to sort them. And I don't want the product to be put in the row. I want them to do in the same row. I don't want them to be split in the different row. So here I'm going to use the transpose function, and I can put it at the beginning. Use the transpose of this. Close. That transpose my list. So I'm going to copy this and put it here. So I got the list of my product. I got the list of my representative. So I want Excel to calculate the total of sale made by Santal, for example, with the product Carlotta. So we used to do this in pivot table. Maybe for example, if I come here, I'm going to do this quickly. You can see, for example, use this existing. I'm going to put it somewhere here. You just want to, for example, if I got representative in my row, product in column, and revenue in value. And here, what I'm going to do, setting, pivot table option. What we're gonna do? For empty column, yeah. Guess wanna put the 0 here. So I'm going to do the same with the Excel row function. So I come back here. I'm going to use sum if function. Sum if. So summarize gonna be the revenue. Criteria range gonna be cell representative, and the criteria gonna be this column. Criteria range 2 gonna be the product, and criteria is gonna be this. I close my parentheses, and you see we got the same thing here. If I actually did this, you see we got the same thing. For Santal Carlotta, we got 731, and so on. And for example, if I got new data, I can collect them and pass them under my data set, and everything get updated. But for the pivot table, I have to go to pivot table analyze and refresh. So that was the Excel row function that you can use to get more productive when working on Excel. That can allow you to save a lot of time when analyzing your data. So, do you have any question?
Hi, Salif. This
Hi.
is a lot. The functions, these dynamic array functions, have gone through many different sessions where people explain them. I tell you, this is the one where I've got the most value. Like, you explain them in different scenarios that I've not seen people use. This is awesome. C'est très, très génial.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Are there any questions?
Okay.
You think? Are there any questions?
Okay, maybe
for
Ifan, you ask the other usual question. I don't know, my question might be out of scope, but Monsieur Salif,
yes.
How many languages do you speak?
Me?
Yes.
Actually, I think two. I speak French and English,
Oh, I
a
was thinking,
little bit Spanish, maybe.
oh,
So
that's
the thing is, when I'm in Morocco right now, I'm from Burkina Faso, but right now I'm living in Morocco. So
okay.
I live in French-speaking country. Burkina Faso, like Morocco, it is French-speaking English, French-speaking country. But I learned also how to speak English. And this
Uh,
is my first time to host a webinar on English. Hope
wow.
you understand me well.
Yes, yes, so great. That was why I'm asking that because I'm learning French. I'm supposed to go and do a training
Ah,
Senegal,
okay.
and uh,
Okay, perfect.
and I look at you and I'm like, I'm motivated that maybe I should ask you for advice. How
Ah,
one learn many languages to be this good to present in all of them?
ah, no, I didn't understand well the question.
Okay, that how did you do it? How did you become very enough to teach in both English and French?
But I think it is a lot of practice. I, for example, I I don't have problem with French because from the beginning of my school we teacher used to teach in French, but when I come to Morocco, here there is a lot of people don't speak in French. Some people speak English, so we get how to update. So I start learning English by online course. I'm talking to people also, and this way how I learn to speak English.
Wow, wow,
Yes,
great. It's very
yes.
good. Great.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
If
so okay,
I can ask you more
okay.
about
So in the absence of any question, the two usual questions we usually ask at the end of every section, usually for first time presenters. It's more of how did you start your data science journey and
Hmm.
advice you give to those that are starting out.
How I started my Microsoft journey.
Your Microsoft journey, maybe or data analysis or
Okay, okay. Um, uh, how I start this? I think it is from the COVID-19 crisis when we get
okay.
locked down. I used to go online and start to learn new things. And one day I see someone post his Excel certificate, and I asked the person how you the person get to certified by Microsoft. The person explained me, so I after that I decided to do the same. And my third certificate with Microsoft was I think Microsoft Office Specialist, Excel Specialist. And after that, I learned from some people that I can also be Microsoft certified trainer. And I talked with a lot of people that already have the certificate, and they explained me how to take. So I I never stopped learning online, and this is how I get certified
Yeah,
by the center
Microsoft.
that is in Morocco. And after that, I see also people start posting some LinkedIn posts with the Microsoft certified, uh, I think, data analyst. Actually, this is not really a data analyst certificate because it is just for Power BI certificate. It is DNS 100.
Really?
And I see the learning path on Microsoft website, and it is about 7 course, I think. So I learned everything from the website. After that, I go to Udemy. There are a lot of courses on this online platform. I learned from Maven Analytics.
Yeah, I know about
I
that.
don't know if you know the
Yeah,
platform.
yeah, I know
Maven
about
Analytics.
analytics.
Yeah,
Yeah, they do this
yeah,
weekly
yeah,
challenge.
yeah. With Chris Datton.
Really crazy
That
about
is
it.
amazing course on this platform that you can use to get certified by Microsoft. Actually, for the data analyst certificate, they release, I think, the last month the certificate, the Microsoft Certified Data Analyst course. So you can take this. I trust them a lot. They do amazing job for online course. So you can go there and find very good course.
Yeah,
This is why I get certified. I guess everything is online. I learn everything from online.
yeah, I have the exact same experience. Okay, then also want to ask you, okay, any advice you give to those also that want to start out or those that are already on the path?
Mm, ah, I didn't hear the question.
Oh, and an advice you give to those that want to start out, that want to, okay, those that want to start out like become data analyst or become,
Okay.
yeah, satisfied.
Okay. Um, the advice I could give to someone that want to get certified by Microsoft is always don't stop practicing. There is a lot of course on online. There are a lot of free course on online. You can go there and find course and learn a lot. The Microsoft Certified Data Analyst certificate is a little long journey. So you actually it take me I think 2 months to get certified. But just go to online, never stop practicing, and don't hesitate to talk to people that already have the certificate. They're gonna give you some advice how to where to find the course, where to find the right course to learn more about their certificates.
Okay. Thank you so much for this session. It was very insightful.
Ah,
Actually really learned a lot. I know I personally learned a lot from this session.
okay. Thank you for having me today.
So everybody also, what Mr. Salih is also going to come around again next week, Sunday, but for Power BI. He's going to teach us about cleaning data sets with Power Query.
Exactly.
So yeah, he also come around next week, Saturday. Right now.
Okay.
Okay, Monsieur Salif.
So we'll see him again next week.
Okay. Thank you. See you next week.
Next week.
Well, before you go, we want to ask you, I know you do, what does DNX Experts do?
Yeah.
Tell us about the company, if we can come and purchase, if to refer clients to you, your website, all it's great.
Mm, okay. I just forgot to talk about DNS Expert. DNS Expert is a company we recently launched. Is about to assist people from getting certified by Microsoft, like the Microsoft Office Specialist certification, like Excel, PowerPoint, Word, Access also, and we do assist people getting certified Microsoft Data Analyst also, that the Power BI certification. And we do some consulting also for company like cleaning data or building some dashboard or report and doing some business plan. So this is what we're doing. The company actually is going to be based in Burkina Faso, but we open to online assisting. So right now, the website is not ready. But if you wanna get in touch with us, we can provide you with our WhatsApp number or email. You can contact us, and if we can do business together.
Yes, you send your WhatsApp number.
Uh,
Send your WhatsApp number across.
so I can put it in the chat.
You can put. Okay.
Okay.
You will see email address also.
Okay, no problem. I'm going to put it in the chat.
I have some people I know in the French-speaking countries who sometimes also look for people we train them in French. So it would be
Ah,
great to just connect you with them.
okay. Okay. There are people that wanna learn to speak French.
No,
No. I want to
No.
learn like Excel, but from
yeah,
French-speaking countries. We can.
il y a
Yeah,
des
yeah.
gens, il y a des gens qui parlent français déjà, mais,
Okay.
mais ils ont besoin de formation dans Excel, Power BI.
Yeah. We are actually bilingual, so we can. On peut donner des cours en français ou bien en anglais. Donc, il n'y a pas de souci. On peut donner les deux, les cours en français ou en anglais.
So I have some in Senegal that I might try and connect you to.
Sorry?
Like he said, there's someone in Senegal that contacted him that also wants to learn Excel. Senegal is a French-speaking country, so we could connect you to the
Okay.
client in Senegal, and you could handle it.
Okay. No problem. We are open.
Merci beaucoup. Nous sommes très, très reconnaissants pour cette merveilleuse session.
Okay.
Thanks a lot. So we say bye-bye. I tried to get this one on Google Translate this one myself, but I have put your LinkedIn in the
Link.
so your LinkedIn, I put it in the text box so people could connect to you. It's very great. We're happy to keep the connection. Merci beaucoup.
Okay. Thank you. Merci beaucoup à vous. That is my LinkedIn profile. Yeah.
Great. So to everybody who has joined us today also, thank you very, very much. I think at this session, if I can end the session. Right?
Yes, you can end the session.
So thank you.
See you next Sunday.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay.